Could it be that we're going to get a blue sky today? Hope so. Just saw Mr. Magpie. Took me a long time to get rid of the voice of one for sorrow, two for joy after being taught it by my nan. And I'm going to be talking about that voice, those voices and internal voice today. Right. Good morning. How are you? Hope you're well. And I hope you enjoy the channel. I've got my coffee. I'm dressed. It's a good day. The sun looks like it's going to shine. So today, I wanted to talk about voices. And I've got to start by saying, I don't mean if you can actually hear physical voices, that's something different to this. So please, if you're hearing physical voices and they appear to be real and there's no one about, then please go and seek some help. Either a counsellor or your doctor or your GP or whatever. These are the voices I'm going to talk about, are the ones that are constantly there, that you probably think are you, and they usually take on some kind of narrative / opinion / guide, and I'm here to get you to have a listen to those voices. So not the physical ones, the ones that are constantly talking in your head. They probably sound like you, as in it's probably got your voice. Sometimes not, but usually it's something that you associate with yourself. And they are meant, I believe, to be kind of a driving force behind you moving forward in life. But the only problem is with those voices is they are not necessarily you saying them. That sounds weird, but I've got a voice in my head today that I told you over there was one for sorrow, two for joy. That came from my nan and granddad. They taught me the one for sorrow, two for joy. And I took that as gospel, that if you saw one magpie, you were going to have a bad day. Now, that's not necessarily very harmful, but what it can do is it can put a negative slant, because if you're thinking about seeing one magpie and being disappointed, then maybe you might actually bring about a bad day. You know, we manifest our thoughts and things like that. And it took me a long time to just snap out of it, and also disregard my nan and granddad's voice. I loved my nan and granddad, and it was a really difficult one to shake, because I heard one for sorrow, two for joy. Okay, thanks for that. I don't need to hear it again. And it really, and even now when I see one, my first thought is one for sorrow, two for joy. And then I think, actually, it's just a bird in the sky, black and white bird. Get over it. And then I can get on with my day. And I don't manifest any negativity. I don't manifest any joy or negativity. You know, I don't manifest sorrow. And, you know, I'm sure that, you know, 5 for silver, I don't compete in any races. So I'm not going to get a silver medal on the day that I see 5 magpies. But in my mind, silver, it's crazy. The other thing, this morning I got a nice blue shirt on over a t-shirt that I wanted to show you, but I won't show you now. And I put the shirt on over the top. It's a short sleeve Nehru collar, so not like a normal collar. It's got like a smaller, it's kind of like a circular collar, I guess. And it wasn't ironed, and I couldn't be bothered to iron because I'm not going out today. And in my mind, I could hear a voice from school, and it was when I went to an award ceremony, and I'd got a shirt on, and a little kid, a knob, said behind me, "Do your mum know how to iron?" And I can still hear it now. It rings in my voice, in my head, and I've long since not seen this person. And yet, even this morning, that voice is still present, and it makes me think about how I talk to my kids, because I have a lot of laughs and jokes with my kids. I had some shabumkin goldfish. I love them, and they're really cool. And jokingly, I said to one of them, I said to both of the kids, I've only got one son now, and it's that fish there called Poe. And laughed and joked and thought nothing of it. And then a few weeks later, my littlest said, "Is he really your only son?" And I thought, oh no, I've programmed him to think that I've only got one son. And obviously, he knows that I'm his dad, and he knows that he's my son. And, hopefully he was joking a little bit. But some of those things that you say to people can stick around. But also at the same time, maybe when you're meditating or having a moment of reflection, calm, quiet, sitting on your own, have a think about what voices are present in your mind, or phrases, like one for sorrow, that might be not necessarily serving you well. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the 3 principles, which I've touched on the other videos, suggest that that life is made up of 3 principles: mind, consciousness, and thought. Mind, if you can imagine, is like, I don't know, the video game platform. So we're all part of this game. We're never ever leaving our view of the world. You can't go and see somebody else's or live there. You might be able to follow them on a camera, but you can't actually ever live what they've lived and do what they've done. And so that's mind. So it's, everything that surrounds us and everything that you can see will always be what you can see. The consciousness part is that you are conscious. We are awake, alive, and seeing all around us. And that consciousness kind of dictates our view of the world. So as I've just said, you can't see anybody else's. So your consciousness is your consciousness. It'll be different to mine. It'll be different to your partners or your mum and dad's or your kids or your friends. But that consciousness allows us to be in the game. So imagine your consciousness is almost like you're switching your console on. This video game analogy might not go as well as I planned, but let's see. And then finally, you've got thought. Now, thought is something that I don't think we do until a certain age. So my 5-year-old, he's a bundle of energy, a bundle of joy. He obviously has thoughts, but they don't last or linger. He doesn't own them. He doesn't associate the thoughts with himself. He just, if he hurts himself, and then I'll pretend that I'm going to chop the bit off that he's got. Oh God, I'm not sure I'm very good parents here, but I'll say to him, "Oh, you've hurt your finger. Oh, let's chop it off then." And then he starts to laugh, and then he sorts it out. But I guess where I'm going with this is the thought may not always be logical, and it may not always be from you, and it may not always serve you well. And the thought, in the video game analogy, is the controller. But imagine if the controller was stuck on, when you put, I don't know, switch your Super Nintendo on, or kind of show me how you switch your console on, and then it automatically starts playing a demo. Now, sometimes those thoughts can be in demo mode. So it's just something that you've heard and you've took it for granted. So I'm just trying to think. So these are your kind of unnoticed beliefs of the world. So I don't know, maybe you think automatically that something cheap is poor quality. Now that might be true, but it might not be true. You may have just got a bargain, and it might not be poor quality. It might just have been on sale, or you've got it for cheap. But in your mind, cheap equals poor quality. if you never challenge that, you're always going to be dictated by that belief or thought. So you're always on demo mode. Oh, so I bought something once that was cheap and I know it's going to be poor quality. And if you click start on your console and actually almost become more conscious, raise your level of consciousness upwards, actually start playing the game rather than watching the game, you might learn something else. So you might challenge your beliefs about cheap versus quality. That's a rubbish example, by the way. I'm talking about fundamental things that you think about: people, life, family, money, success, failure. Your thoughts, almost your demo mode, might not be necessarily the best mode that you're in. You may have fallen into a victim mode, or you may have fallen into a sad mode, so you're always looking for the negative, or you may have fallen into a super ridiculously positive mode that actually is unrealistic. You may think that you might have delusions of grandeur, for instance, although that is a symptom that you probably want to look into if you have. So where I'm going with this is that if you think about the principles, mind, consciousness and thought, and you think about thought being the voice on demo mode and never challenging that voice because it's always been there, might not be the best approach to life. And I would encourage you that when you meditate, or even if you have some sort of quiet time, or if you even have something happen and you immediately jump to, one for sorrow, two for joy, is almost catch yourself thinking and think, does this serve me well? Because you don't have to agree with your thoughts. You don't have to be what you've always thought. And when I read Michael Neill's book, The Inside Out Revolution, it completely shocked me that I'd been owning everything that I thought, and it was tiring and it was challenging because some of the thoughts didn't resonate with me, they didn't correspond with how I felt. And what that book did for me was almost wake me up out of the matrix, in that scene where he comes out and he's like and I saw a good meme yesterday that said the problem with waking up out of the matrix is that you can still see your friends and family in it. I'm not saying that they are in that matrix, but I can definitely see that they don't challenge their own thoughts or beliefs, very often at least. And this video, I hope, will allow you to look into that space before the thought, that void that is almost, that's what they call in the three principles, that the creation part, the putty before it's actually formed into a thought, because your thoughts are things, they create your emotions, not the other way around. It's not your emotions making you think, it's your thoughts making you feel. So I hope this makes sense. I feel like it's been a bit of a ramble, but I do believe that if you can snap yourself out of your habitual thinking, challenge the thoughts, don't own the thoughts, don't own that narrative, it can help change your life. And just going back to my revelation, after I'd read The Inside Out Revolution, it was like a switch had been flicked, and I was free. I felt like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It was awesome, and I felt that for a good 2 weeks. And don't get me wrong, I still slip back into thinking, just believing the thoughts. I have to challenge myself. If I'm feeling negative, I have to really sort of be conscious and challenge those thoughts. I hope these videos are helping. I'm enjoying talking, and I really like to listen. So if you want to interact with the channel, like it, comment, or go to AJ1 blogs and on Instagram and have a look around there, and comment or like whatever. It'd be really good. I feel that by me talking to you, it's actually helping me, and hopefully me talking to you is helping you. And yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.